Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I want to show you a little bit of Dawnbreaker gameplay and give you guys an overall guide to absolutely stomping with Dawnbreaker in 7.32D. I really think that this hero is good, and the build I'm going to show you guys can be applied to the mid lane, off lane, or safe lane. I'm going to be playing in the off lane today because that's the role I like, but every single item that I buy can be directly copied in any of the core roles. Obviously, if you're mid lane, you shouldn't go the same starting items. You should go branches, quelling, fairy fire, and tangos, but you get the point. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the Game Leap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the Game Leap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. And what's really cool about this game, this was a game I played very recently. I went 13-1-12 in a 22-minute game, and you might be saying, Speed, you picked a game where your team absolutely stomped. That's what you would think based on the 47-15 in a 22-minute match. But right here, you'll see, if you look at the net worth, it's not so pretty. It's not a pretty game. I'm at the top of the net worth, but then my side lanes did not go well at all. My side lanes definitely did not go well. But it didn't matter. We were able to pick our team off the ground. A couple of good Dawnbreaker ultis can save bad lanes. So when your teammates are feeding in their side lanes, you know, it is what it is. You can help them out. You can TP in with your Solar Guardian, clean up a couple kills, and then you can carry the game as well. That's what's so great about Dawnbreaker. She's a lane dominator. She scales quite well. The only thing she doesn't really do well is like take Roshan or hit buildings. So obviously it's a little bit unfortunate in that regard. For the most part, I'm a huge fan of this hero. And I go for a bit of a different build, I will admit. I go very extreme on the mangoes, but I had a concept here. My concept is I'm against Lifestealer Crystal Maiden, a pretty difficult lane for most, strength heroes. Most strength heroes would completely feed in this lane. Absolutely disgusting lane against strength heroes. But for Dawnbreaker, she's kind of the exception because she does so much damage in a burst, and Crystal Maiden's Frostbite does not cancel your Starbreaker. And so as a result, we're able to put a lot of aggression, and that's the concept as I even find first blood onto the Crystal Maiden here, using this ward to sneak up on her, and that was massive. That first blood really helped my game out. Because as I said, the Dawnbreaker Lifestealer matchup, it's not great in lane. It's really not that fun. But yeah, I'm going to be looking to pick on the Crystal Maiden, and that's the key thing to look out for in this replay. So the main thing I'm going to be looking for in this lane is to synergize with my Dark Willow. Anytime you're playing Dawnbreaker in general, as long as you have one stun, any root, anything, you're probably going to be able to get a kill, because your W plus your Q does about 2/3 of most heroes' HP. Even something like Lifestealer can just straight up feed, as here I didn't want to commit under the tower. I probably even should have saved my W. It's a waste of mana. If you're using the W, it should be either to secure a range creep or close the gap for your Q. I really don't recommend it just harassing people, because it's very mana intensive. The big downside of Dawnbreaker is she has severe mana problems, which is why the first items I bought were, well, I started with 4 mangoes, and then I bought 3 more mangoes, which does hurt your net worth. To be fair, I got First Blood, which kind of helps out with it. But the big thing here is I can play really aggressive. And I knew in this lane that the CM is going to buy like 1,000,000 mangoes. She's even out already. I wonder what's on her courier. Is it more mangoes? It is 1 mango. But you get the gist, right? I knew she was going to spam me and try to chip me down. But with this mangoes, what's really nice about it is this lane will probably never kill me from full HP, right? It's not like a Troll Warlord Crystal Maiden lane where they have a bit more kill potential. The Lifestealer is going to try to chip you down, right? Chip you down over time, poke you out of the lane, zone you off the wave. The mangoes give you a ton of HP regen. 6 mangoes is just better than Ring of Health. Not total, but like for the gold per healing, and HP regen, it's just straight up better, which is incredible. Like these mangoes in these chip lanes are just incredible. There's no other item I would rather have. Bracer is 500 gold for 0.75 HP regen. Mangoes are 65 for 0.6. So even if I don't eat these mangoes, it's just a ton of regen. So I'm happy to just have boots. I don't really need another item. The only thing I could have maybe considered was a stick against the CM, as I actually waste my W quite a bit in this lane. I will say, try to really not use it like that. At level 3 it becomes a much better ability, but do your best to hold it until you're going to use it to get a kill. In this case, we do end up finding the CM in a moment from now, as we find the Q and just take her out. Very easy. Easy set of kill there, no problem whatsoever, as we're eventually going to pull the wave back. And it's really nice to be able to get the wave back on the Dawnbreaker. So we're going to static it outside of the tower here, because it's very hard. It's almost impossible for this Crystal Maiden to lane if she has to walk up, right? If she has to contest me far up, she's going to get absolutely destroyed. You can see me pinging her. And this is something I recommend to everyone doing, especially when you're playing a hero like Dawnbreaker in late. You try to ping the target you want to go on. Whether or not that's the carry or the 5, you have to try to give your teammate a heads up of what you want them to do, especially if they are the lead stun, which in this case Willow will be, right? I want the Willow to lead with the Bramble, and I want to follow it up. Generally, right? I could leave with W, but it's obviously not that reliable. Neither is Bramble, but it's a bit better because the Willow will be standing on the side of the CM where I won't be. But yeah, we rush up to Phase Boots, so we're going to be going Phase Boots first item. Pretty straightforward why. The armor's really good against Lifestealer, and then I just want damage to chase down the CM. It's just solid, and you can see here, like, this is the power of this lane, right? We didn't even hit a Dawnbreaker root here. I'm sorry, not a Dawnbreaker root. We didn't hit a root from the Willow here, but this is the case with this lane. Like, CM is such a low armor, low HP hero that I actually solo kill her. Like, I don't think my Willow did a single tick of damage, and that's the reality. If we hit a root on the CM with Willow, she just insta-dies. In that case, we didn't even hit her, and she still insta-dies. So this hero is so good in lane with these setup stuns. The Willows, it's really good with Disruptor, it's really good with Hoodwink. Any of these heroes is just extremely powerful with, and I would definitely recommend it. So the next few items I buy are, I buy 1 Clarity. For obvious reasons, I'm out of mana and I kind of need to just clarity up. I was also pulling the wave back and plan to pull the wave back, and so that gives me an opportunity to actually get value out of this clarity. I then buy a Sage's Mask and a Raindrop, clearly just completely doubling down on mana regen. The Raindrops are just nice against CM, make me tanky and I need mana regen. And then the Sage's Mask is going to build into a Falcon Blade. I'm definitely playing more of a carry-oriented build here, as I'm going to Q the Lifestealer, forcing him to rage here, right? He probably shouldn't have raged my Q, but he did, and we get really, really good damage on him. And you might be thinking, oh, but like, why would you do that to a Lifestealer? He can heal. Lifestealer's heal really just isn't that much, as we even pick up the kill on the CM. I waited for my Q to come up, and we were able to chop her down. And you can see the Frostbite does not cancel it. It does push you in place, so you gotta make sure you get on top of her. But if you're on top of her, the Q will go through, and it'll be a pretty easy kill. So that was huge. We get the kill on the CM. This Lifestealer's really low. We can poke him with our W. And this was just freaking massive because there's a double wave under his tower. He doesn't want to miss this. And by the way, this is a rank 23 player, but you know, it just doesn't matter. A little bit of synergy, we kill his CM, because I did counterpick the CM. I intentionally picked Dawn in the CM. I think it's a counter. You know, we bully out the CM. We then chase him down afterwards. And that also set up from the fact that he manned up against me. But because I have these mangoes and this Phase Boots, I can man up to him, right? Because I got a lot of CS and a lot of kills, I could man up to him. I had those items that allowed me to Q him, and even though he raged, it didn't matter. And then him using the rage early even put him in a position where I could chase him down with the W. And then, I don't know why this guy stuck around, but the Lina stuck around too. Missed her stun, and she died as well. And, you know, that's their mid laner, so just an absolute disaster from the enemy team. Absolute disaster, and we're off to the races. So in terms of gameplay, I just popped my ulti to save my Willow against the techies, but I'm not going to cover that kill. I'm going to talk more about the more important Solar Guardian usages, the main thing you want to look for. But at this point in the lane, I was actually still staying in lane against Lifestealer. Because he was off to such a bad start, I could kind of fight him. And my W spam, I was actually casting W on him off cooldown because I bought multiple Clarities. Like, yes, Clarities hurt your net worth, guys. You have to keep in mind, I bought 7 mangoes and like 4 Clarities at this point. And you might be like, oh, if you didn't buy those items, you would be like, you know, 4,800 net worth. But of course it doesn't work like that, because if I don't buy these cost-effective items, I'm not going to be able to play the lane. I'm going to get kicked out by Lifestealer. The CM and the Lifestealer would have out-sustained me, because I wouldn't be able to spam my spells. And if I can't spam my spells, they're very powerful spells, but if I can't spam them, I'm not going to be able to fight back. And so even though I sacrificed a lot of net worth so that I could fight back, it obviously paid off, right? I have 6 kills this game. Even here, you can see I have full mana just because of the consistent mana regen, 4.5 mana regen from the Falcon Blade plus the Raindrops. We even are lucky enough to get a Tumbler's Toy, which we used to get the kill here. Finish off the techies, just clean, very straightforward kill. And then we push in top. We do have the Solar Guardian, so I'm starting to look. And this was my greatest play of the game. I told my team, hey, I won my top lane, I have Solar Guardian, go defend bottom. Solar Guardian is one of the best abilities in the game at defending towers because you don't have to commit your TP. After the fight ends, you can TP back to your lane and farm 3 lanes. So you'll see here I'm pushing in top, farming up top, farming up top. I tell my CK, I say, go stun them bottom. I say, go set up bottom. And the enemy team is like, oh, what are they doing? You know, we see their offlaner top, what are they doing? But the Solar Guardian comes into play. It's a very easy kill onto the OD. Nothing he can do. A lot of heals. The Tiny's able to get a good jump onto the Lifestealer. He goes down. Techies comes in and feeds as well. and eventually we find, I think the CM turns around too for some reason, and she dies. Unfortunately, my Tiny and Pudge overextend, so we feed away 2 kills, but even then, we actually find the Lina on the way out. She gets rooted by the Willow, and we're able to chase her down thanks to the Tumbler's Toy being a broken neutral item. So we get the kill with the Tumbler's Toy, and we win the fight. So all in all, really, really strong. And then immediately I can TP back top. And look, I'm 3 levels up on this guy. 3 levels up, because that's the power of Dawnbreaker. You can farm so much, even though I only have 56 CS, because I've been kind of getting zoned out of lane and fighting a lot. So like my CS is a bit low, but that's fine. You know, if you're sacrificing a little bit of farm, some last hits for 7 kills and 6 assists, that's fine. You know, obviously you want both, but if you have to trade, if you have to pick between the two, generally kills are better, as long as it doesn't cost you too much. You know, if I had 30 CS, that'd be pretty unacceptable. That would be way too little, but I'm okay with where I am. Now we're going to be rushing Deso here, and anytime you're having a Giga game, you can rush Deso. I think if you're not, you kind of want to buy the Shard and then the Deso, just because the Shard will allow you to reliably hit the Q. But yeah, with how the game was going, I didn't want to do that. I also now spam the W on this guy, and it does quite a bit of damage. As I said, Lifestealer's lifesteal isn't that great. I even took a risk by queuing here. I will admit it was quite the risk, because I didn't see his team, so if they were behind him, I could have died. But it's half his health, and you know, every single one of his attacks is like 15 HP, but it's not that much. And so I can continue to look to poke this guy and poke this guy and poke this guy. And due to the fact that I have so much mana regen, that's feasible. As oh, this was unfortunate. I TB'd bottom, I hit the Solar Guardian bottom, but unfortunately he died anyway, and so he wasn't able to get spells off, and I got put in a weird situation where I do end up going down. But because of the fact that I had this wand, I'm able to get off my W and at least take down the OD before going down, which was decent. Not good, but decent. From there, I decided to TP top. The reason why is I don't want to go bottom and fight the OD. That's a very inconvenient matchup that I don't think will go well, because I can never use my Q on him. And on top of that, my CK is top, right? So instead of trying to take farm away from the CK or lane into an OD that I can't really lane into, even though I'm a way higher level than him, it's just not going to be fun. So instead, I'm just going to play an aggressive part of the map, right? I'm going to take their jungle, take their mid-tier one, which is nice. It's a very valuable tower. Jungle up some camps. I also found a stack here, which is really convenient. And that completes my Deso. So people forget that jungling is effective. Sometimes you don't have to clear the waves all the time if there isn't a good wave for you to clear. And that ends up being the case is now, because I'm not showing on the map and I'm not busy farming a lane, I can even connect to my Tiny mid and we pick up a major kill onto the Lina. And now we have Deso. And Deso on this hero is insane. You'll see when I get a Q off on someone. Do I Q the CM here? Oh, look at that damage. Because it's basically like Ursa overpower, except better because you also crit. I decided to max the Q this game, which I'm actually not sure is good, especially when you go Deso. I think it's probably better to have max critical strike, but I will admit this does feel really good. The lower cooldown in fights makes it where you can get multiple of these off. So I'm actually not sure what I think the better skill build is. I think both are justifiable. I personally like maxing the Q, but yeah, I didn't even know Lifestealer was in her, but I also just chunked this Lifestealer and just owned this fight. I did get frostbited on the way out, but we get our W to finish off the kill, and then we had to kite out a tad, but my Tiny came back in. We auto-attacked the OD to finish off the kill. We chased a little bit here, I think my Clarity, yeah, I pop my Clarity, pop my stick, get my Q off, we take a Lifestealer out as well. It's just an absolute stomp. And yeah, it starts from us saving our Tiny, and then just popping off, insta-killing the CM. And that's what's so crazy about this hero. If you can close the gap with your W and get off a full channeled Q against a support, they're dead. Free kill, and then 11 seconds later, what is the W cooldown? 12 and 11 seconds later, you can solo kill someone again. And that's the power of the Dawn. You save someone, get a solo kill, and then you kite out, and then do it again. And that should be the goal of the hero in the fights. As I pick up my Shard now, we're level 13, which is just insanely high, right? To be fair, some of my other teammates are high levels as well, because we won all the fights together, but now we're 14. And we can even pressure this Lifestealer like somewhat alone. I didn't want to commit my Q just in case I was getting ganked. I could have my spell immunity if I needed. But we're going to look for the fight here. I considered Solar Guarding in, but no one really needed a save, so I guess I did it because I was afraid my Willow was going to die there. Didn't really need it at the end of the day, but yeah, just chunk him down. He does get astraled, and this felt like it could have been weird, but the Tiny came in. I trusted when someone would stun him, and yeah, we win the fight again. And now the game is just, it's a disaster because, oh, this is, okay. I'm not going to share this in a lot of videos from now on. I'm going to leave this in this video, and maybe I'm not going to talk about it again for a while until I'm like really set on it. But I have this concept in Dota that I think is genuinely really good, which is you don't push in the lane. I know it sounds insane because you've probably been hearing for the last 5 years, however long you've been playing Dota, if you watch videos, they say shove the waves, right? Clear the creep waves, push in the waves. And this is the common advice, and there's a lot of merit to it. It gives you gold, the waves push towards the tower, so then you can take the towers. When you push in the wave to the tower, an enemy will often show to get that gold and clear that wave, and so you get information on where they are. Those are probably the 3 main reasons why you would do it. However, in a losing state, the creep waves are a lot of gold for a carry who wants to farm the area. Right? It's a lot of gold for carries who want to farm the area. Let's say Lifestealer goes bottom to go farm it. But if I never push it in, he doesn't want to go farm the wave near my tier 2. That's very dangerous for him. Very, very dangerous. So instead I just don't clear it. I take some jungle camps and then I connect to my team. Right? Instead of worrying about where the creep wave is, because we're not even looking to take the bottom side towers yet. We're more so focused on this mid tier 2 or top tier 2 to get an outpost and Roshan. These are our main objectives. We don't need the bottom towers at all. Right? So there's no real reason for me to push in the wave except for gold. But the thing is I can take a jungle camp instead, which is probably about 25% less gold, but then the enemy doesn't end up getting the wave. So yes, there are downsides to this, as I mentioned. There are benefits to pushing in the wave, but I don't know. I just really think there's a lot of merit because I wonder if someone on their team went bottom. Yeah, Techies goes bottom, but he's going to have to jungle, right? Because if he wants to clear the wave, he's going to have to take a trek to the bottom tier 2. That's actually what he's doing. But look, he has to run so far just to blow up the wave. But I will admit, then if they do have a hero that can push the bottom tower, when they get here, they can instantly just run to it and try to take the tower. But it's not like clearing the wave takes a long time anyway, so it's just a concept I have. I think there's a ton of merit behind it. Honestly, I do believe it's extremely legit. And yeah, this has been about all. Now, in terms of next items, I think Blink is almost always the best because with this Deso offlane build, hopefully you'll have like a BKB core when your other cores will be BKB hero. If they're not, maybe you want to go BKB after the Deso, just try to frontline a bit harder, but the Blink feels great. Right? Like in the team fights, if I find Techies or CM, I just insta kill him. Even Lina at this point of the game has no armor. Probably is like, what, 8 or something? Oh, I'm so smart. She has 8 armor. You know, Deso is what, -6, -7, -6, yeah. So you just desolate heroes, right? Completely decimate them with the Blink Dagger. It's very straightforward. You just blink and Q them, and it does like, to most heroes, it just does like 2/3 of their health, 1 Q. It's insane. And by the way, you get spell immunity during it because of the Q, so it's just crazy. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. I know it's very short, but I just want to talk about some of the key plays, some of the different concepts I have, especially for this patch. I really do believe that one of the main concepts is mangoes. I'm just such a believer in mangoes. I think that this item is insane because if you need the burst mana, you get the burst mana. On a hero like Dawn, often you're going to need that burst mana, you pop the burst mana. If you don't, you just have a better ring of health. Like you might be like, oh, it's not a ring of health, it gives less regen. Guys, keep in mind, ring of health is 800 gold for 6.5 regen. How many mangoes do you need for 6.5 regen if it's 0.6? You need about 12. Still, the cost doesn't, it's cheaper if I'm not mistaken. It's cheaper to buy mangoes for the same HP regen. You might be like, oh, but what about slot issues? Yes, but you get the regen ASAP. When you're buying ring of health for HP regen, you have to wait until you complete the full item, which is a lot of gold, 800 early game. Right? With the mangoes, you're just getting the regen every single time you're buying the item, right? You just get 1.8 regen from buying 3 of them and another 1.8 if you want to buy more. So I really do believe that there's a lot of viability in this really simple item. And so I just want to share that with you guys. I know it sounds a bit crazy. Most of you probably don't care, but I think it's interesting. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.